Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Front End Happy Hour podcast.
Welcome to this week's JS Party.
Live from Shipshape Studios, this is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot, with your hosts, Robbie the Wagner and me, Charles William Carpenter III.
That's right, Charles. We drink whiskey and talk about web development. I mean, it's all in the name. It's not that deep.
This is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot. Do not adjust your set.
What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot. We have a guest today. This is Adam Argyle. You may have seen him very recently also on the show.
And he's back again. I don't know why. He just, I didn't bring that, but that's all.
Well, I have a special...
You did it, you mother. Hey, whoa, and it's like a branded mixer or what?
No, it's a
mixed flavors.
Yeah, so they have different flavors because they're playing their seltzer game, but this one is mixed berry citrus. The normal one is grapefruit, like the normal one, and that one tastes exactly the same as the non-alcoholic one. But this one, I don't know. I'm just gonna try a different flavor. They can't all be the same flavor, so whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Boozy Fresca is, it's genius. That's what I have to say. Why didn't we do this sooner? That's what I want to say.
The mash bill is, let's see, contains no juice. And if you have questions, you can visit frescamixed.com.
Illegal to sell in Europe is probably what it says also. You'll never find this anywhere overseas. Yeah. Definite instant cancer.
Yeah,
Only
the fact that it doesn't
cities.
say, contains no, all the chemicals and stuff they always advertise. Like, you buy anything in Europe and it's like, doesn't have this and this and this and this. And you're like, cool, well, okay.
Yeah. You're like, oh, well, and it's delicious. That's weird. Why did we put all that shit in there anyway?
Well, I buy cigarettes in Europe and yikes.
Yeah. Yikes.
They put nasty stuff on the packaging. They're like, here's a black one.
Yes.
Are you sure you want this? And you're like,
here's a picture of your dead grandmother. Are you sure?
Yeah.
like, what else should we do that with? Hey, are there any JavaScript libraries we should put a label like that on there? It's like, may cause death.
Yeah.
Oh, controversial.
Includes classes.
Spicy, there it is,
Wait,
too.
I want that. Yeah. There it is. You already
May
started with
require
spicy
you
tape.
to write object-oriented code.
Yes, may require you to use objects and
It's
active
callbacks.
record.
We should just throw someone into the callback hell, and let them try to recursively navigate out of it. Can you succeed and escape?
Build a
callback
website
hell?
with jQuery UI and Bootstrap. Enjoy.
I did enjoy that, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So
I was okay with it. It was a lot easier than Backbone, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not enjoying trying to remove jQuery UI from our work code base
the
right
fact
now.
that you have it is amazing. That's worth applying for. So I'm actually having the Standard Spirit Wormwood Rye because I discovered that this is one that I had in the arsenal that Robbie doesn't have, and it's not something to easy get and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to go ahead and break it open now. It's very interesting. So it is a spirit distilled from a normal grain mash bill and flavored with wormwood and other herbs. So it has like an absinthe-like quality is what I'm guessing.
Is it aged in it, or they do staves?
No, I
or
think they flavor it. So high rye thin
grind
mash
it into
with
a dust? Put it in there.
I didn't ask
and
these
then
kind of
cast it.
questions.
You just cast a spell. You're like,
Can I get?
Dustomancy.
Is it possible to finish the sentence? I'm not sure. High rye thin mash with wormwood, finished with 4 char levels of American and French oak for a range of butterscotch, maple,
There's 4
spice,
Charles
and
in it?
char levels. Char.
Oh, char levels, not Charles.
Yeah.
Charles
you don't know
levels.
about that?
Charles levels.
Yeah, various levels of Charles. No, there's a thing. So for bourbon,
third.
the char. Yeah, I am. The char levels are another thing that is bourbon is required to a particular char level with American oak. But this has other things. Yeah. It does say it has no anise or licorice as part of its flavor additions, and it's made with local rye and corn in the column of our still. So 90
I think
proof.
my fallback profession when this doesn't work out is going around and making sure the char on the barrels is correct.
Yeah, what do you call
Right.
the char person, the char cat?
I don't know. Yeah, like I forget even what it's called. The people who make the barrels. It's like not rickery. What is it? It's the staves put together. I can't remember what that. But I'm sure it's somebody who works at the place that makes the barrels. That's a whole industry into itself.
the
I
barrel
want to say
craft,
something,
right?
but I feel like I'm wrong.
Yep.
crafting
Go ahead
burnt
and say
barrels.
it. No one will know. If you say it with conviction, people will think we're geniuses. We've been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah, no,
now.
I was right. Okay, it's a Cooper. A Cooper
Yeah,
is the
there you
person
go.
who makes barrels.
Yeah.
I was wanting
Cooper's
to say that, and then if it turned out to be like the guy who made shoes, I was going to look fucking dumb, so I didn't want to do that.
Oh, it's
That's
the
a cobbler.
Yeah.
That's a cobbler. Yeah. And not
All
I
right,
love that
that's
dessert.
why I
phrase
was
that
thinking,
cobbler's
okay.
kids have no shoes. Do you think the web developers'
Yeah.
kids will have no websites? Is that the
They definitely don't. I mean, do you
by
have
the
this?
time they're old enough to make websites, no, they will not have websites.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
wait,
the
do you
web
have domains for your
developers
kids, though?
Family? No.
No, I should though, I guess.
Some people make
Yeah, I don't have
emails
mine
and
either,
then
but- yeah.
fair enough. Okay, well, I'm going to taste this one. It doesn't smell like licorice, just so you know.
I told you it wouldn't.
It says it has none in there.
And how did
but
you
I
say
feel
anise
like
again?
that. Anise? Star anise? Anise?
Is it not anise?
Anise?
I'm wrong or you wrong?
Why do you want to say anus?
Well, anise. It's not a noose
Anise?
like
Anise?
Borat
I don't
says.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
think
trying to look it
may-
up. Let's see.
Okay, there we go. Wow, we worked through this tasting. It's very difficult. Adam, why don't you pour yourself something?
I've got
Anise.
some here.
It is anise.
It's anise. Ah, sweet.
Anise. So it's
I
anus.
love it when I'm-
Star of
No,
anus.
slightly
Anus.
different.
Star of anus.
Yeah.
That's something too. Oh my gosh, this is
I just
going
like
well.
the
Yeah.
chocolate anise, you know? Like, that sounds like a band name.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anise
That's
is
what
a
this
safer
whiskey tastes like.
pronunciation. I'm going to continue to say it wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with anise because I don't want to have to explain that to my kids. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you saying chocolate affected me, but it has a little bit of a dark chocolate, like, you know, a little bit of a bitter chocolate in the beginning.
Yeah, mine
Getting
still has
notes
a
of
peppery flavoring.
Mixed berry
Yeah.
citrus.
It definitely has a little bit of licorice like flavor to it though. And then a little bit of like light nutmeg. It's very interesting, I would have to say. I don't know if I like it or don't like it quite yet. I'm warming up. But it, you know, to me in general, it's kind of like a flavored rye, so I'll just consider it more of a flavored, you know, American whiskey. I'm not sure I'm prepared to rate it on our
Well,
scale.
it will be a inaccurate rating because we won't be able to average it amongst everyone rating it. So
That's true. So I'll skip the rating and just let people know.
Yeah.
This is
It's a
interesting.
personal-
We're
next
trying.
time,
entry.
we'll try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in your whiskey
my personal
journal,
entry
you know?
would be, yeah, I'll just keep it to myself. Go ahead and DM me on Twitter because it's the only place so far. Socially, I'm willing to tolerate if everybody leaves for
Everyone's
the
on
butterfly
Blue Sky
place.
now, man.
Everyone's on Blue Sky, dude.
Well, then I'll just
I
quit.
swear
I'm done.
Twitter is full of bots right now. Like, I'm like, I don't know anyone really on there yet.
Yeah.
Things seem active, and I'm like,
I might be just
these don't
done
match.
with the whole social media thing again. I don't need it that much.
I reject it
Like-
all. I mean, you could.
Yeah, kind
Own
of.
your content,
I might
you
end
know?
up there, so we'll see. But for the time being, message me on there if you're interested.
You can host your
in
own
my
Blue Sky
personal-
content in case you're
Yeah.
interested in that.
I
You don't even
I
have
don't
to
know.
use the site. Could just be a way people find you, but you're totally own your own shit. It's on your own servers. You post to it using the protocol. It retrieves from your server as a protocol. I mean, it's kind of cool how you don't have to rely on Blue Sky. And there's even apps like Gray Sky. There's other UIs that interface with the backbone, and it's pretty cool stuff. I don't know. It's a little bit different. It's also very, very similar.
Yeah,
but it's a little bit different.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a lot of work.
The only thing that I hate so far is if you have more than one account. You know, on Twitter, you can just hit the picture to switch accounts.
Oh yeah.
I have to go into settings, switch my account, find the post I wanted to comment on again. It's super annoying. So, yeah. Fix that. And Dan, fix that, please.
Yeah, Dan.
Otherwise, it's good.
Den. Those noodles are amazing, by the way. Dan noodles, fire.
Yeah. Dan,
I always
Dan.
like a Dan noodle. So
Fun to say
Yeah,
things twice.
yeah,
You know,
that,
Chuck Chuck. It's a Chuck noodle. It's a Chuck bear. See, now it's a cute
Chuck
bear.
Cool.
That's it.
Does it have to be? It has to be just kind of like one syllable. You can't really go Adam.
Yeah, my name sucks.
Yeah, it does have to be
Doesn't
one
have quite
syllable.
the same flow.
All right, well, let's get to the most important topic right now.
Yep.
Is cereal soup.
Oh, jumping into the whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a.
It's what I titled
delightful
our
soup.
our title, so we had to. Yes.
Well, what's the
definition of soup?
What is the definition of soup, right? Things in a
liquid
brothy.
bowl.
Yeah.
You know, some
Yeah.
chunks in it.
Must it be warm?
No, because
No,
gazpacho
there's
is
cold
soup.
soups. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
cold pea
gazpacho.
soups. Yeah.
Yeah. Cold pea
But those are
soups.
not good, whereas cereal is good.
Cereal.
Well,
is delightful.
Subjectivity aside, I mean, I think you need to define soup first. And
Yeah. I think it is something that you could drink or eat with a spoon that is mostly liquid and could have, large pieces of other things in it that you would have to chew.
So is
It
chili
couldn't
soup?
be drinkable.
is chili soup?
I think there needs to be a certain amount of
There's like a
if
viscosity.
you poured it out, yeah, how much would it move? And chili could kind of just stay the same shape,
Depends.
depending on how thick it is.
Yeah, it depends on how thick it is.
So I do think probably most of the time you could consider chili soup.
Okay. So I think we can consider cereal like breakfast soup.
Breakfast
right?
soup. It's sweet soup.
Are
It's
there
not
any
savory
sweet
soup. Yeah.
soups?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Are there any
That are warm?
hot sweet soups? I know I've had a pumpkin soup or something, but it's still slightly
It sounds
savory.
like a tea.
It's not
Yeah,
super
it's
Right,
like a
like butternut
waffle,
squash is I mean, this is along the same lines of, I have asked this question, is a hot dog a sandwich, hot dog on a bun? Because that's also confusing. You use the term hot dog, or whatever, the words hot dog, to mean both the sausage and the sausage on the bread. Is hot dog a sandwich? And then also, is a hamburger the sandwich? And I saw this because I saw an advertisement that was like, get a Whopper sandwich. And I was like, so they're saying get a hamburger sandwich, basically. Is hamburger a sandwich?
I guess you should
Is
be
hot dog a
including
sandwich?
sandwich when you
Yeah.
describe those things.
So you
because
should
you
say-
could have a hamburger without the bun.
Yeah. And I advocate for using the term sandwich to mean includes bun. So I want a hot dog sandwich, or do I just want a hot dog? So this is why cereal could also kind of fall into that more blanket category. So breakfast soup. I'll have some breakfast soup. I'm going to have that tomorrow and tell my family I'm going to have some breakfast soup. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was just trying to think about, I guess you do use the term sandwich for most sandwichy things. Like if you go to Burger King and you're like, I want a Whopper, they'll be like, the meal or just the sandwich?
Yeah.
So you refer to it as a sandwich.
Yeah. So just saying a
I
burger
think,
is like,
or am I
short.
wrong? Am I remembering how they would say? I need to go to a Burger King and see what they say.
It's just short form. Like it's implied sandwich. It is a sandwich, but it's implied because you don't go and say, I'd like a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. If I'm getting Philly cheesesteak, it's the whole thing. Nobody wants that without the bread. That's like saying,
I would eat
I'll
it without
have
the
it
bread.
without the whiz.
Oh,
Why?
I would
Why
not
would
eat
you?
it without the whiz, though.
Yeah.
The whiz
good
is the
bread,
jam.
a good
That
hoagie
is
bread.
all the fake
worth it.
chemicals. I need the fake chemicals.
Wit whiz. That's how you order it. Wit whiz. That's the Jersey
It's
way.
like sometimes we have too many words
Isn't it
for
implied
stuff.
that it comes with it?
It better come with it. I mean, I think it should.
Yeah. Like, why would you need to say with when you could just be like, it just comes with it? I don't know.
Because some people will get provolone and other cheeses. I mean, the most
those
traditional
people are wrong.
ones.
Provolone is good,
Provolone
though.
is good, but I would kind of say wit whiz is it's the jam.
that's the classic. Yeah.
That's the classic, yeah.
Sounds like
So,
a rapper name.
you have it your
Wit
way.
Whiz.
That sounds wit whiz. Yeah. What would
I
be
bet there
your
is a
rapper
rapper
name?
with that name.
Wit whiz. Yeah. Wiz Khalifa. Right. So there's.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yes. Well, what I actually have no idea what my rapper name
is
would
he
be.
named after Cheese Whiz? I would hope so.
We haven't had that conversation yet. So
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
There's Mr. Cheezel from Grandma's Boy.
I have never seen that.
I have not either.
It's Nick
Neither of you?
Swartzen's most popular movie, and I don't know
Wow.
why.
It's
I think
really
it was
good.
just at a point where Nick Swartzen was blowing up, and he was kind of annoying to me for a little bit when that movie came out, and I was like, I need a break from this guy. I'll see it later. It sounds dumb, whatever. I'll see it later, and then just 20 years later, it still hasn't happened. He's funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd
I've
suggest
definitely
it,
listened to
yeah.
his comedy stuff and everything, but
I don't typically like stoner movies, but that one is on point. There's just some awesome parts where his grandma drinks his tea off the tin in a shelf, but it was actually weed. And then she's like, I can hear my hair growing. Hey, there's a sandwich reference in there. She comes out with ice cream sandwiches and she goes, do you want them on wheat or rye? or a white rye or whatever. She's got them on a tray. She's got ice cream in between pieces of bread with lettuce, and she's like, "Who wants an ice cream sandwich?"
Oh gosh, yes, but not those. Well, there you go though. That's a very valid point already. There is a dessert sandwich, an ice cream sandwich, is.
But there's not a dessert soup, or like a sweet soup.
Yeah, what about? Well, it's not soupy enough, right? Like some kind of chocolate mousse or whatever. I don't know. We can figure
What
this
if your
out.
applesauce is very liquidy?
Is
It becomes
applesauce
soupy.
dessert?
Like if your ice cream melts, it becomes soupy as well. It's like it went from not soup to soup right before your eyes.
Yeah. I mean, almost if like your milkshake. I drink your milkshake, but it is soup now. It's almost like that a little bit.
Is a function a method, and is a method a function?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Method is usually a property
A
of
method has to
class
be a
or
function.
object. Yeah, it's a.
But a function doesn't have to be a method.
Yes, that's my understanding also. Do you think sandwiches and like this hot dog thing are similar, where like the hot dog, bread has one connected side. It's only got one open face, right? And that's kind of clutch because it's catching shit. It's the diaper of the wiener. And
I don't know if that's how you meant it. You're not old enough for that to be the problem or the case, right? Hopefully you're not wearing wiener diapers yet, but I'm not far away.
I just turned really red. I could feel how
Yeah, you walked right into that. Not even on purpose, I believe.
stumbled right across it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
that was great.
like think about like pitas, like other things. I mean, the point was still like if you got the Pac-Man sandwich, with only one open face, you're like, that is kind of clutch in the eating vessel mechanism
catch-all.
strategy. And as soon as it becomes unconnected, like if you have a hot dog and the diaper disconnects, you're totally like, what? This is junk to me now. You get upset. You're like, your whole purpose is gone,
Yeah, because like hot dogs outside of the bun basically should just get cut up and put into SpaghettiOs. Otherwise, what's the point? Right?
Oh, I love hot dogs and SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, I like that. Or beans and Franks. I can even tolerate that. Like SpaghettiOs, Franks and O's, yes.
Homeless
Beans
food.
and Franks,
That's
about-
good stuff. Yep.
There's something about how the ones that come in the can are even lower quality than the like minced mystery meat crap you would buy anyway.
Right.
And that just tastes so good.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
why.
like the Vienna sausage of meats or something like
Yeah.
that. Like I actually like canned meats because I grew up with a trash mouth apparently because like potted meat, Vienna sausages, Spam. I love all these things. I have no problem digging into that. So I don't know.
It's the salt and the chemicals.
Yeah,
Makes everything
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Is there a JavaScript library that's like this where you're like, it's not good for me. It's the end of the meat. It's the last little bits of the library JavaScript. But you know what? I just can't stop using it. It's just too good and delicious. Like a guilty pleasure.
Bad. I mean, I think like unnecessary.
Moment.js.
Let's think of it that way. Like like
Oh, I do
Lodash
use a lot of
maybe for a
Moment,
while
yeah.
or something. Like Lodash is like a jQuery like library that was like such a helper for so long, and it was just easy button to kind of keep rolling with it. And when I see Lodash like in a project now, I kind of feel like why? But then it's already
Because
there.
they
so
wanted to group by, and group by wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they want to
There you
do
go.
certain things in like a one-liner where we're like, no, I shall use ES6. I shall continue nesting and
Right.
using multiple ternaries in line.
I
I
want to
won't do
keep
that.
this standards sticker on my laptop, and in order to do so, I must write it out 400 lines.
What is your favorite color? I like that we just turned into, oh shit, what's that movie?
Wrong. The right answer was green.
Monty Python.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
that's what it is. Is that the one where like you shall not pass? You must
Yeah.
answer these 3 questions.
Answer me these questions
thrice or 3.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it's been a while.
What is your
So-
favorite color? This is how you should ask
Wrong.
the spicy questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Is
instead
arteriola
of
soup?
okay, we're going to start to change the format, which means we'll probably get less guests, but we'll try the whiskey a little bit in the beginning. And then, like, before each hot take, you have to take a shot of that whiskey, 1 ounce shot, and then get
That is very
into
hot ones,
takes.
which y'all were like originated on, right? It's a good idea to follow the hot ones.
I say
pattern-ish.
it is inspirational too.
Yeah.
Just entering the idea of duress and having, not necessarily duress because like alcohol isn't spicy, my mouth is on hot or on fire or whatever. Well, we would just want people to like come a little bit out of their like professional shell. They're like, I have this spiel about the thing I'm here to talk about. We
Like hot dog
want you to
diapers.
relax
Yeah.
some.
Elegant
hot dog
Yeah.
diapers.
commentary.
Adam Argyle, author of the JS library Hot Dog Diapers.
I bet there isn't one already.
No, I'm certain you could definitely have that.
And then one of the errors that it admits says not hot dog. You're like, you tried to put something inside of this that's not a hot dog.
Yeah. How would those sell if you like started a bakery and then like would package hot dog buns, but you just called them hot dog
Dude,
diapers?
burrito tape sold good. If burrito tape can sell well, I think
Burrito
maybe I'll make
tape?
hot dog tape. Yeah, burrito tape. Do you know?
No, I
Does
don't
that
know.
just keep your burritos closed?
It will. Yes, it goes around the. Okay, so like imagine it was kind of like edible tape. So instead of you
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
your
is it
burrito
kinda
wrapped
like,
in something, you put
yeah.
this tape on the burrito, and then you can just eat it as you go. There's none of this unfolding the diaper ritual.
It's like the
You know, we're
seaweed
like, let me-
tape that goes around this,
Yeah,
what is it,
yeah.
nigori or whatever? Yeah, the sushi
Yeah.
stuff. I could see that, except for I do believe if you just warm up your tortilla and then fold it right, it's not a problem. It doesn't come open.
Yeah,
just let
I've
it
never
cool.
learned how to
Yeah.
fold it right. I just can't.
Oh, that's a skill, dude. It's just like
Yeah.
swaddling a baby.
It
You
is.
got to learn these things. Like you got to know
Yes.
how to tighten up
You
the
gotta learn
burrito
these
and
things.
the arms on that little toddler. you know?
Well, what's more important is the technique of eating. You just hold the whole burrito and like never put it down and eat it as fast as you can.
That
and then
is
it
one.
doesn't matter how well it
Yeah.
was wrapped.
Yeah,
that is the
No, I
fun
get
way,
that.
the messy way. It's the artistic way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the artistic way. You got to say this correct. The star of an anus. Star of anus. Anus. There's
Anus.
Anus.
and there's no anus in here. Or
it feels like you're talking to someone's-
licorice.
Oh yeah, licorice. Yeah. No, just anise
for
sounds
okay.
like
very
someone's
little.
name. Or
Little.
wait, what did you say again? How did you say it before?
Anise.
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 I saw it. I
Anise.
said
I was like,
anise.
yeah, I've got a niece around the corner. Her name is Anise.
That is a little nicer. I'm just saying for her.
Oh.
Like if you named someone that, do you think they would like to be called? Because I don't assume it's a male or female name, but would they like to be called Anise or Anise?
I don't know. It sounds like Alice. You know, it's like Alice, but a little darker because you're black licorice. You're sweet
sounds like-
to some, but evil and gothic to others.
Right. Yeah. This is true. It's a very good point. And I'd also appreciate how much you're trying to tie this back to JS libraries. I was thinking of like high level categorization and like sandwich short form is almost like, CSS shortcuts. You have the long property
The French
description,
mini
you got the
sandwiches?
shortcuts if you do it
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they have them in Spain too. Like they have them in basically all. I forget what they call them. They're just like little snacks. They call them like little snack and whatever that word
Little
is.
tea sandwiches.
Yeah,
Not the tea
That reminds
sandwiches.
me of
It's
a
more
camp
like a
song I
tiny
learned back in the day.
baguette kind of thing. Okay, sing it.
Oh crap!
You and Robbie could have showed up with banjos. He's got his now. I
Dang,
brought it.
dude. I will help you get addicted.
Yeah.
I'd love the thing so much. Oh, I went to a show last night and was watching like metal bands play, and I was like, I could do banjo rolls with an electric banjo, and it would be super cool. I would just slightly adjust it,
It
so
would
it's
be.
not all like country bluesy. I could like do like a dope metal riff with like a banjo roll. I'm like, you'd be fast.
I would
be
like to see
sick.
this.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I would love
kinda
this.
want to try that. Okay, the song goes, I went to England, I visited the Queen. She had the smallest sandwiches that I had ever seen. I asked for another, and she looked at me a door. She handed me a sandwich, and then she kicked me out the door. There's more verses, I can't remember them. Yeah, but the Queen had
Interesting.
small sandwiches, I guess.
What tea sandwiches are small? They're like little sandwiches, and they just have like a smear
They're always
of like cream
gross,
cheese
though.
or something.
It'll be like
They look delightful.
it'll be
I
like,
disagree.
hey, here's,
Maybe it's
here's
where
this-
you
the
go.
thinnest bread you've ever seen, and all we put in there was cucumbers. How about a
Or
yummy
olive,
topping
mashed
instead?
olive with a basil leaf.
I've had the ones with cucumbers and then like a smear of cream cheese in that, and they'll do like little
that sounds
smoked
nice.
salmon ones.
Yeah,
Actually, the
that's-
last
that's
time I
too
was
fresh,
in England,
too
we
fresh.
did tea service with the kids at a place, and it was amazing. They brought out all these like great little sandwiches, and they had a kids version of everything, and it was during Wimbledon. And so they had these awesome pastries that looked like little tennis balls, and then they had like cream in the middle and everything else. It was great. And then for the kids, they could get milkshakes and mint tea if they wanted. which no caffeine and whatever else. That was...
Did all the boys come as well?
Yes. I like
'Cause
tea
they had
service. Bring the boys to the yard. That woman was married to Nas. I don't know if she still is, but fun fact. Kellis,
did not know that.
I think was her name. Or is her name. I don't think she's dead.
She was pretty cool.
So she
Yeah, not gonna lie.
was, whatever else, Nas. That's a fun fact. But it didn't bring all the boys to the British yard that I'm aware of.
Oh, speaking of that, have you heard of the band Manchester Orchestra?
Yes. Love it.
Nice. I saw them in Thrice last night, but I was like,
Oh,
this
nice.
has a good tie-in. Oh yeah, fresco. Is this peach flavored?
Pineapple citrus.
Pineapple.
What was your feedback on the first alternative flavor?
It was good. It tasted like the grapefruit one, but with a little bit of berries. So I'm guessing this one is going to be like just a little bit of pineapple added. Let's see.
Okay. I want to ask, okay, Adam, why does CSS tooling get no funding and JS tooling gets a ton?
Where did you hear this? That's such a profound thing to be saying.
I heard
We
this
talk about
from
it all
the
the time.
notes that Robbie made, so I probably stole his thunder on that question, but I was just trying to steer us into something technical and whatever else for our audience.
I don't know.
Charles.
I honestly
Do
think
this
about
one
this
for
all the
Charles,
time.
yo.
Is JS just seen as the omniscient control center? Because, I mean, it's like JS has to interface with HTML and CSS. It's like a tight dependency. There's like almost no way around it unless you
Absolutely.
go canvas. So with this tight dependency, and sure, JS can create HTML and create CSS, and CSS can't really create JavaScript, although it's starting to take its job in a lot of ways. HTML as well, taking the role of JavaScript's job. But somehow JavaScript is seen as this like mecca epicenter, and it's also so conceptually powerful and mysterious that investors show up and say, it's the users, you have users, here is some money or whatever. But I don't know, I never know how they're going to get that back, like if you're getting into tooling. And why not, if you're trying to empower developers, we're here to empower developers with next generation tooling in your kit. The red squiggles will now animate as they squiggle and give you actually meaningful information, which is not possible. Anyway, okay. But it's like what, where is this for like the holistic view? Like, why is, I mean, Svelte has like an HTML linter, CSS has like style and some other things, but like these are wimpy in comparison to like what TypeScript does, which is like, I understand everything so much, I know more than you. And I go, shut up. No, you don't. And it goes, yeah, I do. This will be undefined once in a million years. You must fucking solve it.
That's a good
I'm
point.
like,
I have a
TS,
couple of
ignore
things
that
here.
bullshit. You're like, anyway, sorry,
I have
there's
a
my rant. There's
couple-
my rant.
Yeah, no, you're totally on the subject. I have a couple of points. I think one of them is that JavaScript was perceived in that very same way for quite some time. So I think it's by design that it has been elevated in importance. Oh yeah, back-end developers, everyone else who would talk shit about make things pretty, well, let me show you how complex and computer sciencey I can become here.
Bow
in
to
your
my
browser.
stream of linked lists.
Right, exactly, right? and so it was just, they were linked in that same way, and then folks came in and introduced complexity for a myriad of reasons, whatever, trying to prove a point. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I'm not here to judge that, but I think that is part of it, is that, JavaScript was seen as that same way. And I think tooling in TypeScript is another thing that exposes how it can be a real programming language, right? Like not just a scripting language for the browser, but you can actually make full-on applications, which yes and no, right? Like there's a database in the browser. I guess you can do some things in that respect and whatever else, but turns out CSS doesn't have a bunch of that. I lost my second point, so sorry. That was one of the things
I do
was
want to
thinking.
make a quick point that HTML also doesn't really have tooling.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
that it's not a CSS specific problem. It's that JavaScript is viewed as like where you do the heavy logic, whether that's the right place to do it or not, or you should use web standards and like built-in, native HTML stuff and like CSS.
I want to
do it
stand on the
before
shoulders
reaching
of
for
giants,
JavaScript.
but I don't want to stand on the shoulders of the HTML standards because they're not giants, they're wimps.
The giants do it all themselves. They write all divs and just
Well-
hand-roll everything.
But the funny thing is there is no internet without HTML, right? If there's no hypermedia, then there's no outlay of information that interconnects to another hypermedia document. Like if you don't have those two things, you don't have the internet. So you can, flashturbate, whatever. I'm trying to think of whatever the new word. You can do all this like complex masturbation on top and create HTML, but that's exactly what you're doing. JavaScript is creating CSS, creating HTML, creating the things it requires in its environment, or they could be there already and play together nicely. Depends.
Yeah.
But without HTML, just everything aside, without HTML, connecting to additional HTML within your own domain or elsewhere, there is no internet. So it doesn't fucking matter. So the web goes away and you can just make software that's
My servers
installable locally.
keep running, Chuck, and all I need is my JavaScript to have one thread
You don't
alive.
need a server.
And I
Bro,
will be faithful to this forever.
You just need a Raspberry Pi that you open up to the internet, and there you go. That's all you need. You could serve up.
Are there
one
people
page of
reverse
HTML.
hacking? Like, what if I opened up a port to the internet and I'm like, yes. I guess it's the honey badger kind of concept. I'd be like, yes, try to invade me, and it's just like it baits me and I claw and I'm like, clamp, I got you now.
There is a logging and monitoring app called Honey Badger. I don't think that's what you mean, right? You're just trying to make the Nat Geo joke, like Honey Badger don't give a fuck?
I don't know. Isn't honey badger was like the thing where like you leave something out to entice them in so
mean
much that
honey
they-
pot?
Honey pot.
Oh,
No,
shit.
the honey pot.
Yeah, that's
so it's
clutch.
hidden
Yep,
fields.
I mean
it's
honey
hidden
pot.
fields that when the bot finds it. Oh, that's funny.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh,
Do the lights in your
spooky
room just turn
story
off? Hey,
time.
yeah, ooh,
Yeah, I'm not
spooky
sure
Chuck.
what happened there. Something happened here, but I'm still recording.
You
Yeah,
are
the
still
room
with
seems
us.
to be
Much darker.
unlit.
Welcome to another edition of Spooky Stories from the Internet.
I feel like I should
mean-
turn lights off around me and match the vibe.
Yeah, you
but-
should do it.
I can't.
Oh, wait.
It's daytime still.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh
hey.
my God,
Whoa.
that's bright as shit. What do you
Oh.
guys like? Do you like dark or do you like
I mean, dark was cool. You looked all
dark
lit.
mode?
Yeah.
Whoa, I don't like that.
All right, no, that was good. It adjusted.
No, I like your chin and neck in the frame. That's great.
Maybe you see the wrinkles too much. What about? Okay, well, I have
yeah,
no
turn
idea
that
what
up.
happened.
There you go. Just give it a second. It'll look
And
normal.
adjust.
There you go. Yeah.
Robbie is a stickler for, this is how
The
it should be.
producer has to keep you on track.
No,
with
I
the
get
best
that.
quality and the best.
He also assumes
everything.
I'm giving him a hard time and making fun of him, which is usually true.
You guys
but
are a
not this
cute
time.
couple on here. You can keep bantering in front of me and like bickering though if you like.
Robbie, you're just
Or you
gonna
can-
have to sleep on the couch tonight. Okay? You pick which
fine.
couch.
This just in, Whiskey.Fund is now open for all your merch needs.
That's right, Robbie. We're hearing reports of hats, sweaters, and t-shirts, as well as a link to join our Discord server.
What's a Discord server?
Just read the prompter, man.
Hit subscribe, leave us a review on your favorite podcast app, and tell your friends about our broadcast.
It really does help us reach more people and keeps the show growing.
All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Wait.
Did you
like
guys
already
see
do
when
that.
CSS made queries from a database? From an index database?
No,
not.
but I'm.
Oh, here's
why?
a question. Is it data or
Why?
data?
It depends.
Yeah.
Usually data.
I say data, but I think people just. It's kind
I
of like
just slipped the
radiator,
data.
radiator, right?
Yeah.
Isn't like radiator isn't technically right, but there's vernacular, so then it's right in.
I think
particular
router makes more
regions.
sense than router, but we say route because we're all. But
Roto
makes more
router?
sense.
Well, like that kind of thing?
It's a
I always
big
think the
problem when you're
rooters are
talking
the
about
people that come-
websites.
What?
Because when you go, if you call everything root, you're talking about routes and like the root of your application being like, slash. And then
but
you're
that's
like, root,
ROT.
And I'm like, what did you even mean? You used root for all these different words. Like, which one did you mean where? Like,
So
I do
route
think,
distinguishes. Yeah,
yeah.
that means we're right.
Router. Root. Yeah.
Well, we're not right about many things, but this is one that I would argue we might be right about.
I think you're onto something there. I think that's absolutely yeah. Because if you say, "Oh, what's the root?" And
If
then
you
you're like,
are-
ROO?
If you're having a normal, non-technical conversation, it's unlikely you would be talking about a route and a root of things that aren't technical in the same sentences. But when talking about websites, it's a big Big thing.
This sounds like a YouTube short that needs to happen, where we're just like, hey, dude, you got to take the route to get to the root. And once you're at the root, you can get to the route that takes you to the other route. And I don't know. There's got to be a script that would be funny.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
I want to regress briefly and say that my second point was CSS tooling mostly doesn't get funding except for Tailwind. Do they even take funding? Or are they bootstrapped? Or
They're like Macklemore, They're self-made.
Yeah.
They don't have a dep on anybody.
they go to the thrift shop?
I mean, Adam has like 100,000 Teslas, so I think he's probably making a lot.
I mean, they're making money, but I just wonder, like, is it because of investment? And then he's just like, Lambo, so people like my stuff.
No,
Or
I think it's.
is
I
he
think
just
it
making
was
money?
investment a long time ago, but I think now it's all just like people buying the UI library stuff.
Yeah, and it's like lifetime access, and then it's sort of like, but if you want the next thing, upgrade your lifetime access. or
I've
something.
paid them 3 times so far, and we'll probably continue to do so. So
Yeah, I have logged into the account where you paid them 3 times so far.
Although the big problem is it's all Next.js, which now no one can use because it's not an acceptable thing anymore. But all that aside, we should do it in Astro.
He did get canceled.
Or HTML.
I mean, I saw all his employees were like, I do not reflect things my employer says. But then I saw Sundar that did the same thing. And I'm like, dang it, do I have to do this too?
I just like to stir the pot. I tend to think that like it doesn't really matter what your views are. You should be able to express them, and you shouldn't be canceled for them for saying a thing once. Like,
Well, now we just got canceled, so thank you, Robbie. But I will say that. I will say,
I
like,
have to condemn him to be not canceled.
Jason Fried and DHH had their thing a few years ago where we're like, we don't want politics in our business. We're just trying to do business. And we accept folks' personal politics. We don't want that in the business. It isn't reflective of our goals. It's like all of those things. And I do think that like incredibly muddies the water. So it's a little bit like separate the art from the artist, but it is also a little bit of like, if you dig into all kinds of like famous rich people or just businesses in general, there's certain things that you're kind of not going to like. And then we've become a culture of like, oh, this is owned by, Chick-fil-A isn't open on Sundays and they hate gays, so I don't like their chicken anymore. But I actually do like their chicken and their waffle fries. So which,
Only when they're free, though.
Well, especially when they're free. But, do I not buy that anymore? Do I not utilize like the best software because the dude who was part of creating it is, I don't know, he's not murdering people. If they're not murdering people and they have a personal opinion, it's
Well, I think
really
it
murky
also
waters.
Depends
Murky
what
waters for me.
your position is. Like, as the CEO, you should just probably keep your mouth shut about most stuff.
You probably
That's how I feel about it,
also
too.
that's true.
I'm
Like, I don't think that politics belongs in business, just like religion. But if you open your mouth, I guess there are repercussions.
Damn, that got heavy. We
Sorry, I
went
felt
from
like-
wiener diapers
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, I was giving it a moment where I maybe was talking
This episode
too much.
is sponsored
one
by
out.
Blue Sky.
This episode is sponsored by Vercel because, for one, that fucker owes me an interview on this mediocre podcast with my whiskey.
His secretary drank the booze, dude. Just never
It's
made it to
one
him.
of
What if
Yeah.
what if he actually didn't even know, like he wasn't getting the notifications, and his assistant got the whiskey, drank it all, and said, "Oh, he can't make it today."
He can't make it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good pool.
Which, if that's the case, that's kind of awesome. I would love that, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I'd accept that as a
Yeah.
good explanation of like, hey guys, because he's been on tons of podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what about us specifically. I think it's your.
He'd
face
get on Trump's
that
podcast.
he's-
We know that now.
Yeah, maybe a guest on Joe Rogan's show as well.
I mean, okay, but never mind. I'm gonna start drinking. Like, Bernie has been on Joe Rogan's podcast, right? Bernie Sanders, not just Trump. Like, let's not, cast a singular side.
I've never listened to it, and honestly, sorry, I'm cutting you right off, but I want to. I
do
want
it to you all the
to
time.
listen to Trump's episode because everyone has been like, "This made me want to vote for him," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, what could have been said in this episode?" I now need to listen to it and find out.
I do think information is good. I may think you should get information from all sides of the argument, regardless of where your feelings are. It's good to kind of understand where others' perspective is coming from. So I
agree.
would.
That's
I would
always my number
advocate
one
for that.
question. I'm like, hey, tell me what you hope he does that, just tell me your hopes and dreams with your vote. Like, I'm just curious where you're
like,
coming
if that's
from and
the best thing. I mean,
what things you
what's
align
done
with,
is done. So I really hope it works out, overall. Him speaking always seems a little like dumb. I would almost say like JD Vance has come off more like eloquent and focused on what he's trying to say, but I don't know.
Well,
I did
that's
watch
a totally
both debates.
different skill that I don't have, of being like, all right, no prompter, no notes, like be someone interesting that, I would want to listen to. I would fail at that. Like, I think there's
I think you're in the wrong profession.
there's a subset of people that are like very good and charismatic and can say everything and spin it well. Just because you can't do that doesn't necessarily mean that like all of your ideas are wrong. You're just like on the spot, you don't shine,
Yeah, but
like,
that's
you
not
just need
modern
more
society.
time.
Right, but that's not modern society. You need, in many professions, even if you want to be a technologist online, streaming and doing podcasts and everything else, I think you need to be able to evoke your points and ask good questions and
be
like,
entertaining. And like
to a degree, because you need to capture
that's why I
some-
don't stream. Like I don't feel like I could code and like be engaging while coding. I'd just be like typing and be like, cool, you're watching what I'm doing.
I fucked
but
up
like,
again. Oh, I fucked up again.
Yeah.
Backspace. Yeah, because even when I pair program, my programming goes down like 50%, 100%.
it's the old
programming
saying
someone else.
that my grandpa used to say. He's like, one boy is one boy, two boys is a half a boy, and three boys is no boys at all.
I love that. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes I think like shotgun debugging or pair programming, though, it's like I might be conceptually going slower, but the checks and balances are way better than TypeScript. Like we kind of try to attribute TypeScript as if there is a healthy person over your shoulder, right? This is like, that's why he's called Copilot. We try to convince you that they're agents sitting next to you peacefully, not breathing sweet nothings in your ear. But like kind of the reality is an actual human there, you may go slower. So like TypeScript tries to pitch you that you're, I don't know. Anyway, but the slower that they go, it's more that you're catching. You have dual perspectives co-authoring, and I think that's what's cool, where it's like Copilot is not co-authoring, it's auto-completing. And what you need is someone to co-author with you to really suss out the realities of the potentials of the intent of the script, not the realities of the script as it's purely theoretically written, to TypeScript, where it's like doing deep insights in this sort of like edge case analysis, whereas like when two people are pair programming, we're high level. We're almost at the opposite side. When I'm writing TypeScript, I'm down deep. I'm typing stuff that maybe it's a string. It's like, it's a type of string. Yeah, but I'm like, that type isn't good enough. I need to give something more specific or whatever, right? That's really down in the weeds. But when you're pair programming with someone, you're in a higher level space. The code is actually just an implementation detail of you're not coexisting together, but you're like mind melding into this moment of the manifestation of an algorithm. And I've always really liked it. I do agree that like on the surface, it can feel slower, but I feel like the output of it is really strong.
I agree with your point overall. I think you make a very great point in that when you're pairing, you're not trying to accelerate your output, right? And it doesn't matter that like whatever you're putting out in the moment, you can't type, you can't whatever else, but you are bringing a completely new perspective into what you're trying to address. Usually are asking the pair, not because like, oh, I'm doing my thing and I'm creating a sign up form and I've done this a million times and I kind of know what's up. Why don't you pair and join me on that? Like that doesn't happen. It's usually like, let's pair.
Well,
I don't know. I'm thinking this direction.
It could if you're the senior and you're trying to be like, hey, come learn how I did this. The opposite pairing,
It's like a shadow.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. And that still exists in that like they drive and you observe and you're just trying to like help them through a thing. That's true. I think there is multiple facets. It's like you're a junior. I'm here to just kind of like be on your shoulder if you want my help, but no problem. And then conversely, you have the pairing or mob programming. Mob programming can be really fun in your team when you like have a big challenge and nobody's really clear on what direction you want to go. And you're like live whiteboarding to a degree, or you're like live, like, I don't know, we're just trying to figure this thing out. I'm not sure. This is what I was thinking. Oh, Adam was thinking this other thing. And Hot Dog Diaper was thinking something else. And like, I hadn't considered that perspective. Like, let's fly through a few of those.
This is somewhat maybe related to, you know how everyone says like the best way to get the best code advice is to just post something you know is wrong and wait for people to come correct you.
Correct you.
Like,
yeah. That's the old school Stack Overflow trick.
Wait, I wonder if we need to start doing this hack, dude. It's right. It's brand new. You
trying to get me on the
butterfly shit now.
Yeah.
Hurry,
but
bad
I wonder
advice.
if it's like, if that's like tied in your brain of like, that's what happens when you're pairing or mobbing too. It's not that you're like trying to do that, be that like, oh, you're wrong kind of thing, but you're just, it's easier to see someone else make the mistake than when you're doing it, you're in the zone. You're not like paying attention to what you're doing as much, you know?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's another perspective overall. I think what we say is the exercise is worthwhile, regardless of the output.
Wait, you're supposed to exercise?
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to eat less Taco Bell. But,
I'm doing curls right now.
Also, exercising wouldn't be
curls. This is a
yes. This is very heavy. And
listen,
could get
Taco Bell,
heavier
the
if I
Taco Bell
added
near
more
me
liquid.
is going to be demolished in 2 days. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Is there any cool mural art inside? Did you see that Panic guy's video? I think it was like a TED Talk. Oh, it wasn't a TED Talk. So do you know Panic, the company that does, they've made a couple games. They have the handheld video game that has the wheel, or it's like a lever you spin.
The one I'm going to be sending to Chuck.
The Playdate.
The Playdate, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Panic, the company.
You haven't sent that yet?
I have not sent it yet. I'm bad at mailing
Did y'all
things.
trade Banjo for Playdate?
No,
kind of a
I mean,
cute
just
trade.
coincidentally.
No, so I bought the Playdate or pre-ordered it like years before it came out. And then I was like, you know, group quad Z, like never getting it, whatever. So I got it way later and was like, well, I don't really care about this anymore. So I've never opened it. So I was like, well, Chuck, you can have it. I don't need it. Like,
oh, nice.
So I'm going to send it to him.
Yeah, and that's going
it's
to be a
pretty
gift
cool.
for my son for Christmas because he's really into gaming. He has a Switch. He does some iPad stuff. But we've
Hopefully
done
he's not watching right now because then he'll know.
Yeah, he's not. I can assure you. There's too many fucks in this show for him
That's
to watch
true.
on a regular basis. He has seen it. I put it up on YouTube before because he likes some YouTube streamers. And I was like, that's on YouTube. And he's like, what? You're famous. And I'm like, absolutely. I am famous. Yeah.
Did you listen to our the episode changelog posted of us?
I did.
I did some of it.
Jared was like, Chuck said we could bleep him, so here we go.
And they did. And they did bleep
It was
me.
record bleeps, right? He was like, I think we have a record number of bleeps
That's
on
okay.
this episode for
I mean,
changelog.
I respect their format. I respect like I asked like if you're gonna post it. I said a lot of bugs. Is that cool? And they were like, can we bleep you? And I was like, you do you. Like I have no problem with that. I don't care.
You know
And there was
the
a lot of
FG
that.
scale, right?
No.
FG scale?
Is that a guitar thing or something? I don't know.
No. Oh shit! I'm so happy I get to teach you this. Okay, so here, this is even could be part of the title, I guess, because so it's like is cereal soup, and why did we give so many FGs this episode? FGs are fucks given. So you just mentioned that like we've already given out a lot of fucks given, and so like the idea is like every day and every person each has a limited number of fucks to spend. And you're either the type of person that has a ton of them, which means you're really concerned about stuff. You're always putting your nose into things. You're trying to control everything. You have a lot of FGs to spend. And then you definitely know people that are like chill and they're like, I don't have a lot of FGs to spend, so I'm not going to spend them here. But it comes in really important when you're talking about like software and stuff because people have a butting head about like, this is a button. And someone else will be like, that's not a button. That's a link or whatever, right? And you're like, okay, well, that one actually has a correct answer. But whatever, you'll have a scenario where people like butt heads. And then you'd be like, how many FGs do you give this? And the other person would be like, dude, this is like a 5 FG. I'll spend 5 FGs on this. And the other person's like, whoa. I was only like 1 FG that I thought was a link. So if you're really sure it's a button, it sounds like you're really sure. But yeah, so you just have like, this is like a way to communicate how important something is to you. It's also like a way to say like what kind of personality type of you. Some people are born with a hell of a lot of fucks to give. And other people are born with not very many. And you can see it manifest in their day-to-day life choices.
Wait.
The FG scale.
Where do you think I lie on the FG scale?
I feel like you got a decent amount of fucks to give. You give them out pretty freely, but you give them out chilly. That's not a word. I said it twice, though, to try to hope it was better the second time.
Have another.
So that's nice. Yeah, you give chill FGs. There you go.
Chill FGs.
Cool.
But not a ton. I'd give them out chill. But not a ton.
I feel like I don't have a ton, but I am not chill about them.
No,
I'm
he's
very
not.
opinionated.
I've
and,
worked
like,
with Robbie in a professional scenario.
Whenever, usually I'm even keel until it's a thing I don't agree with, and then
and then
I'm
he
gonna
will
throw
wear
down.
you down. Robbie is very
Yeah.
good at wearing you down. He'll just
He's
like
got a
say,
big Tailwind FG.
"Yeah,
I
oh,
do.
For sure. Yeah,
I'm fighting. I've been fighting that battle at work since I started my job, almost 2 years now.
jQuery UI. I can understand why you'd want to get rid of it to a degree. Like it's not cool, but is it not working anymore? That would be my converse.
How deep you want me to go on this? So one of the problems is Amazon scans everything to be like, hey, this is a third-party CDN. You shouldn't use that. So like a lot of our jQuery deps we pull in are from an old CDN link. And so all of those had to be changed. We had jQuery, what was it called? I forget. It's one of the jQuery UI things, but it was for taking a text area and like, dragging it and resizing it, like jQuery resizable or something. And I was like, yo, text areas are already resizable. What the fuck are we doing? Why do we need a plugin for this? And so delete that. Like, it's just stuff that it's crufty. It's like, it's not inherently bad. Some of it may be useful. I'm not a jQuery hater per se, but it's like, just think about it. A lot of it can be removed pretty easily, and that should be done if it can be easily removed.
Yeah, like if it's doing something that is natively available to you, maybe consider,
jQuery
refactoring
slider. That's a range input, dog.
Yeah.
Just replace that.
Oh, you meant slider. You meant slider like range. Oh, dang. I was like, are we going to talk about carousels? Because holy crap,
No.
that's like a fun CSS thing to share.
Wait. We can have a follow-up episode with you and Wheeler and Slick Carousel. Let's talk about
That would be really fun.
That was jQuery based originally.
It was, yeah. So the browsers, we've been working on the specs. We have it in Canary. I've been building carousels for like months now. And the stuff we're working on is like super sick. Like imagine you just have like a horizontal carousel and it says like horror movies and there's a whole bunch of movie titles inside of it. They're focusable.
Yeah.
You've already done the work where like you can keyboard in, but the bummer is when you keyboard in, you have to keyboard past 25 titles before you can get down to comedy underneath horror. Enter the CSS carousel feature spec. So right now you've got like a scroll snapping horizontal scroller. You can, with a CSS selector, target scroll buttons on there and give them content, just like a pseudo element, and they appear. So you can put a custom icon inside of this scroll button, and now you have scroll buttons that appear next to your scroller. You can use anchor positioning to put them inside the scroller, outside the scroller, up on top, down below, together on the right, together on the left, together in the middle, whatever you want. It's like the world's your oyster. So now you have scroll buttons, right? And they're accessible. They do all the things where they fade in and out when you're at the beginning and the end and all that shit.
I think you should highlight that the point isn't visual. When it's accessibility, I think we have to get behind that.
Like, even if you, for some reason, this sounds like it does a lot of shit already, but if for some reason you wanted it to look a little different, you should still use like the stuff that is accessible and the way to do it, like all the right elements and everything, and then just restyle it a bit if you want that. Because if you do it all
that's the browser is going to provide
no
the
one
element.
can use it.
It's focusable. All the work is there, and then you just get to come in and style it. So here's even the things, like when you make a carousel, do the buttons go before the focusable content or after it? And what if you have little markers at the bottom, the little dots or thumbnails? Do the buttons focus order after or before that? What if you don't want to give a shit because you don't have any fucks to give? Then you just say, hey,
No
browser,
FG.
stick it in the right place because I don't want to deal with this. I don't want my library to have to deal with it.
What
I don't
is
want to
the
have to
right-
choose this.
Yeah, what's the
Do you
default
know the right-
place?
what's the right
the
way?
default place?
I think it's after, but honestly, I don't remember. It's gone back and forth a lot. So that's kind of the thing is there's like a WAI, like WAI ARIA patterns, and they've got like advice on it. But that's kind of one of the things. It's like we're kind of taking all of the advice that we can and we're building that in so that Chrome reports it accurately to screen readers. And so your accessibility tree is accurate per what all the stuff is in there. And we're going to do all the ahead of time work so that this thing can just do the right thing for you out of the box. You don't have to worry about what comes first. We'll make sure it's the right thing. But yeah, the second feature after buttons is the markers at the bottom. So dots. It'll make a little dot or a number or a title, like for tabs, like for sections, or thumbnails for every scroll snap child or
Wow,
other things. It doesn't even have to be the thing that snaps. You can just target any child and be like, generate a marker for this. And it'll be like, okay. And it puts them all in a group for you and another pseudo element that you get to use anchor positioning and put it on top, put it on the bottom, turn them into boxes, turn them into squares, turn them into the whole thing. The world's your oyster. It's really exciting. And then your arrow keys work inside of there. You tab in, your arrows work.
there
It's
you
the
go.
whole nine. It's all in there. And we have the ability to toggle inertness from CSS. So it's called interactivity:inert, which was previously a HTML only feature, and it was an attribute, and it nullified the entire tree. You put it somewhere in the tree, just bam, every child forever is inert. There's no focusing anything inside of there.
So this is an HTML specific thing, or this is a CSS?
This one's a
specific
CSS
thing?
one. So the CSS is going to be able to more finitely do it.
CSS kind of taking accessibility to a degree is an interesting.
It already was with display none versus visibility. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the things is a lot of people push back and they're like, CSS shouldn't have to do with accessibility. And we're like, it already does.
Right.
You can change the
Yeah.
color of the text to white on a white background. It's now illegible.
Yeah.
And there's like,
Oh, right.
there's like a lot of ways to
because
screw it up.
The fallacy is that accessibility only has to do with like blind people or deaf people, and you're not. Like, yeah, there's a whole.
It's a huge range of stuff.
That's a great point. I have two questions. One.
Yeah.
What's up with that shirt where it looked like CSS like in a skateboard font or some shit?
Yeah, this is from Project Wallace. They do CSS Insights, and he's made a really sick shirt. And I was like, well, I must wear it. I think he also made it from CSS Day where I emceed. And I kind of did I didn't mean to. I was just trying to get people pumped. But I was like, CSS, CSS. And I did this like cheering thing. And then it kind of sounded really culty at one point when people were cheering with me. And I think this shirt is inspired by that. I don't know.
Also,
it's just a cool
do you
shirt.
own not black shirts?
No. One. I have one. It's black and green checkered. I just got it. It's from PAX. It was special. And then I look like a lumberjack. I have one lumberjack shirt, and that's it. It's a nerd PAX shirt.
Black and green isn't a buffalo check. I don't know. Maybe it is, I guess, but it's not traditional. There's no maple syrup.
Yeah, I'm like Doug from, like I got like a very simple wardrobe. It's all black tees, black pants. I have like
I love that.
one. Yeah.
I tried that for a while. Had a lot of the same things. I still have a lot. I have like the same pants. I have like 5 of the same pants, but I've stopped trying to do the shirts. I just have like, because I want to wear, like I have the syntax shirt. I have like some of our shirts. I have like just a bunch of different colored stuff and can't do that. But I loved the simplicity of like, you basically wear the same thing all the time. And it's like, is that the same thing he wore yesterday? I'm not sure, but I'm not going to ask.
Yep. It's easy for everybody.
Easy is easy. Turns out.
I do have a question about like, we dropped all that about the CSS carousel stuff and like, accessibility and whatever. I still feel like, and I haven't
Chicken tonight?
I
feel like chicken tonight. Oh, that's what. Sorry.
I feel like no one gives accessibility or CSS or most of the time HTML like the time of day at all. Like back to the JavaScript versus CSS thing. I feel like there's so much new stuff coming out in CSS that I can't possibly learn it all without like
Me neither.
Like I feel like college should have a course on just CSS. Like they try to do like, a web dev course, and that's like, all right, well, we'll tell you what CSS is, but then you can figure it out. I feel like we're at the point where there's so much in CSS, it should be its own course. So I think we should do that, and I think we can all teach it.
I want an addendum upon that for post-college professionals, which is like we've gone back and rubber banded around like there was a separation of concerns, and there used to be like subject matter experts along like different levels of it. So it would be like designers kind of do HTML as well, so they could structure the document correctly, and maybe they know a little CSS, but the front end devs know the advanced CSS, and we can get there, and then they know some JavaScript, and then like we're getting our JSON APIs, and then like it all kind of comes together. And now that has like heavily leaned towards the application logic in the browser. So now we've forgotten about, becoming CSS experts, because now, Tailwind solves it for us. And it does to a degree, but that abstraction like kind of takes away some of that developed expertise, and companies aren't prioritizing it. And I think in that, and a lack of semantic HTML being a first-class citizen anymore, means that accessibility has been thrown out the window. That, I think, is a massive problem.
Yep, these things are hard. There's been a couple people have said some really profound things for me over the past couple of years. One of them was someone was writing, it's like a procedural code. I think it starts with P. What's this language? It's very
PHP.
low level. Dang it, this wasn't supposed to be a quiz. Anyway, this person was like,
Pascal.
if you can...
Drink
not
again
Pascal, but
and then
it's
see if
good.
you know the answer.
Oh, sure. That sounds like that's a great... That usually works, right? There, lots
It's been
of
working
experience.
for me, clearly.
Trying to think of any other languages that start with P.
P.
Oh, sorry, it starts with an A. It's assembly. Hey, it worked. I took a sip. Anyway, this person's like,
It's assembly.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, this person's like, I've been writing assembly. I'm teaching these courses on it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I went to go write a CSS grid the other day. My God, it's way harder than assembly. He's like, some of the hardest problems that I'm solving in assembly are half as difficult as a responsive grid layout. And I was like, I love that this person said that. So then another person says they've been building native apps. That's pretty much how they cut their teeth, where a lot of us cut our teeth early web or web-centric in general. Anyway, this person is transitioning into the web. And they're obviously a talented software engineer because they're building native apps, which is basically those have been typed since the beginning, right? These are real apps that get compiled into little executables. Anyway, so this person is transitioning into the web. And after all, so they are a good scripter. But what they're learning is that HTML is the hardest language. They're like, basically, this is like a seasoned engineer saying, I'm still learning HTML every day. I think this is because it's so many subjective choices that I have to make, where scripting doesn't have the subjective choices. CSS deals with more than just subjective choices. It deals with multiple consumers of various size, of various capability, of various, all these things. And CSS is thrashed around in the most chaotic space that's ever existed. And HTML is in the same scenario where we're all consuming this thing and we have high expectations. So it's like, this guy's like, I'm coming from native, looking at JavaScript is easy, HTML is hard. Why aren't y'all focusing on it more? Why isn't there more education about HTML and CSS? This shit is super duper hard. And I'm just listening. I'm like, I love that this person is willing to say that, because that's not the common phrase on the web. We all generally be like, I made the color red with color::red. This shit is easy. And I'm like, well, yesterday I combined a time-based animation with the scroll-based animation so that they could both affect the same transform value without stomping on each other's feet. What the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
Oh, you made the
Here's
color
what
red.
I say.
Oh, that's really nice of you. That's really cool. You made the color red.
Great.
Anyway, but it's like this wild disrespect for this thing because of just almost like the way you write it. Like the declarative nature. The fact that it starts with declarative immediately makes people think it's not powerful. It's just like this strange thing that our communities continue to do, and our educational systems and our own companies continue to do. Even though we're all playing a part to make an airplane together, it doesn't matter who is doing, like, it does matter though at a software company. They're like, oh, you just paint the plane? Oh, that's actually just kind of, and I'm like, well, hold on, wait. Just because I write CSS doesn't mean I just walk up and fucking paint the plane, dude. Like, you're completely misunderstanding. They actually just stacked all of the chairs for me inside the main hull. I had to write a layout to put all the chairs in the right spot with the right gaps that have to do with user expectations and make sure that the eye level is at the TVs, man. I'm like, you cannot just call me the painter of the plane. This is really rude. Anyways, I could keep going.
I think you need to take a drink real quick. And I would say that CSS is both declarative and imperative. And the second thing is CSS is the punk rock of web development.
I'm so happy to hear you say that.
You know why? Because it's like the whole 3-chord Monty bullshit with like whatever, like punk rock is so simple because it's like basic chords and thrashing away and whatever else until people really dive into it. So
this is a good point. Yeah, on the surface it seems extremely simple, but then you're like, cool, you go do it. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll talk to you when you're all done making your first punk album.
I think if you were like, hey, make this like out of just like one div in CSS, make like a transformer versus give me a sorting algorithm. There's one that you can probably figure out a lot easier than the other. And like, I'll just leave it at that.
So it's like there's other industries where, like building homes, the electricians and the architects, everybody sort of seems to have more of a mutual respect for each other. And the web doesn't do that for some reason. We have a hierarchy like this, like weird, and we continue it. We could destroy it at any day that we wanted to. We could destroy this hierarchy of bullshit and just say that we're all equal participants in building web experiences, but we're not. People want to feel better than other people. There's like, this is like born in our blood. And
I think a decade ago, this happened very strong. I mean, I have been a part of that. I've been on teams where the front end is perceived as being like, make it pretty and simple. And I feel like that rubber band effect is where we're at now.
Yeah, the front end has come back to show that you can't take it lightly, and it's your one place to basically distinguish yourself. I like to tell people it's like getting in a car. Let's say I'm going to go try 3 cars. One car has the dopest engine in the entire world. The other one has amazing range, but it's kind of crappy inside. And the third one's like somehow a middle of all of them, but in the interior is very nice. I'm like, I'm going to get in the one with the nice interior and basically be like, I'm sitting this for long rides. I'm sitting this, right? This is what I'm going to do. This is the one I want. The fastest engine doesn't always win, but we're just so obsessed with that for some reason. Making things comfy is hard. Making things beautiful and comfortable, it takes iteration and love. It takes love. Love is all you need to write good CSS. Anyway.
I wish you were doing that with a
I did
banjo.
miss out on the HTML is for lovers sticker that Henri had.
Oh, I
need to
one.
get one of those. Oh, you got one?
I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Nice.
I have 2 stickers on my computer right now because I did not grab our own stickers. Apparently, I only grabbed one. And so I have HTML is for lovers. Love that one. And then I have the Whiskey Web and Whatnot, but it's like in a soccer crest. And then it says the Ryan Reynolds fan club because that's like kind of a little...
I can show you right now
Yeah, show.
Yeah.
Please do.
if I can get it to focus, right?
It's focused. It was. Oh, it's coming back. Yeah.
We want to get jerseys made with that crest on it. I think that would be dope. So we'll see.
I like it. Anyway, thanks for letting me rant. I ranted a couple times pretty furiously. You could just call me Furiosa, the web Furiosa. But yeah, I really think that the fact that we're competing against each other, it's like, why the hell are we doing that? We're all like, the way that we all win is if people use our shit. So it's like, how about we all focus on making usable shit? And that does mean accessibility, because it just drives me nuts when people can't consider themselves when they're even temporarily disabled. And it's like almost like we're all temporarily abled. We all feel, especially as you get older, you feel this. You fall down and you get a big fat bruise, or you do something stupid and you're like, holy shit, I'm vulnerable. I don't like this at all. I thought I was strong, but I'm fragile. And so it's like, why can't we think back to that more about how like the way that we want this? I don't know. It just seems strange and self-servient in a lot of ways. And a lot of people also care more about their career trajectory than they do producing actually something good. So that's also something. So it's like those people are going to do what it takes to project themselves. It's like, okay,
A
they're just
temporary
a different
solution.
different meteor than I am. Yeah.
Accessibility should improve your career. Like it should be like, I feel like that should be a thing anyone could do. If you come into a new app and you're like, oh yeah, this is not accessible, pitch to your boss that like, hey, this should be accessible, not just because like, for these certain people or whatever, just like from even just a usability standpoint of like using, like we talked about, like, the native HTML solution versus like thousands of lines of JavaScript is going to load quicker for people that can see and click and do whatever. You should always go with the simple, like standards-based solution, and doing that and improving your load times, improving who can use it, unblocking people that you may not have known you were blocking should
Resilient
always
software.
be like, should always like make you increase your career. Like, I mean, it probably won't because of this such a political game, and like I don't even know how you get promoted. I'm never going to figure it out, it seems like. So but that's how I feel, that it should help, but it maybe doesn't. Maybe that's a idealized world.
Stinking world. I mean, our votes just came in, right? Our country voted for someone. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that. But it's the same reason where I'm like, whoa, JavaScript got $10 million for that JavaScript library project bundler thing. Holy shit. Why didn't they do that for CSS? I'll never know. These are questions I cannot answer with my tiny, tiny CSS brain.
And your inability to pitch to VCs. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. It's hard to say wherever it comes from. It doesn't come out of nowhere. I think people seek money and find ways to get it.
Yeah.
Maybe we need more just slap some AI labels on CSS initiatives, and that'll get some
CSS
money.
AI.
Yeah, I keep trying. I've been training my own Gemini bot internally for months now, trying to make an actually good CSS AI bot. That's for vanilla. It's not going to be a Tailwind. There's already plenty of Tailwind suggesting AI bots.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's really hard to do.
Gives you components with Tailwind and Shad and all that.
Shad and Tailwind. Yeah, which is smart. It's just like it makes sense why the AI engines are so shitty at CSS, because if you go search something just basic, How do I center this div? Honestly, search that. The first 5 results are going to be garbage from Stack Overflow, and the AI engine's like, look at these high-rated, successful 15-year-old good answers. I'm going to go ahead and start surfacing these to everybody, and it's like the wackiest, most ancient solution. Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
float left, float. Yeah.
Anyway. It's a hard problem.
I'm glad y'all got it. It's in your hearts, though. I appreciate that.
Yes, always. We are quite over time now. Is there anything you want to plug before we end?
Yeah, try my new JavaScript library, Hot Dog Diapers, and vote for us on NPM. It's on NPM. It's also on what's the website where people launch all their products? Product Hunt. It's on Product Hunt. Give us a +1 because I'd like to go ask for a lot more money for my new project. I'll make sure the sauce never falls out of your module. There you go.
If you can get money for a hot dog diaper, I mean, that would be amazing.
Sounds like a Silicon Valley pitch here. I love it.
I'm going to give you 2 days to register that domain, and then I'm doing it.
All right.
On that note, Monday, that shit is mine.
All right. We are done. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Catch you next time.
You've been watching Whiskey Web and Whatnot, recorded in front of a live studio audience.
What the fuck are you talking about, Chuck?
Enjoyed the show? Subscribe.
You know people don't pay attention to these, right?
Head to whiskey.fun for merch and to join our Discord server.
I'm serious. It's like 2% of people who actually click these links.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and tell your friends about the show.
All right, dude, I'm out of here.
Still got it.